All right, today we're going to take a look at how to properly use what's called a sit-to-stand lift. We've got a couple different manufacturers that make these lifts, but generically we call them a sit-to-stand lift. The first thing we want to do is get the belt around our patient. The belt for this lift is positioned right in their low back. This section of the belt is going to wrap around their waist. So what we're going to do is position this straight behind her. Okay, once we've got that positioned around her waist, we're going to bring the lift into place. We want her feet up and her knees right up against this pad. You'll see we've got straps that have 4 different positions they can be put in, different colors. You want to be sure you're using the same color on either side. It's going to depend on how big the resident is that you're transferring. Of course, a bigger resident, you're going to have to come out with some of the bigger straps to use. We've also got 3 different places here we can attach these straps. It's going to depend on how close you can get the lift into the person, what kind of a chair you're transferring them from as to which one of these you're going to use. Any of the 3 of them are appropriate. I'm going to come right in here to the first one, and I'm going to go with the smallest loop here. Just go around this way is how they go. Okay. We've got a controller here that will lift the lift both up and down, and it will move the feet further apart or closer together. The way these lifts are made, the feet can remain in their tightest, closest position. The lift is perfectly stable, you can move them around. It's only made to be moved apart if you need to get underneath or around a chair or around a bed. Okay? So I'm going to use the up arrow here. I'm going to ask her to hold here and here, and as I start to bring you up, I want you to pull yourself up into a standing position for me. This lift does require that the resident help with the transfer. They need to be able to bear weight on their legs. They need to be able to assist with coming up to standing. Once we have her in the standing position, this is where we want to move the lift from. We don't want to push with our feet anywhere down here. We don't want to push on these bars or anything else. All the moving should occur from here, so we can come straight out with her, and we now can move her wherever we want to move her to. Like I said, if the feet need to be widened up, if we were going to put her over the top of a commode or something like that, a bedside commode where you needed more space, you can bring the feet apart, and from there it's just lowering her back down into position, putting her where we want to put her. All right, this is a sit-to-stand lift we're going to demonstrate. This sit-to-stand lift is made by Lyco. It's just slightly different than the Invacare one that we demonstrated earlier. One of the biggest differences is the way that the sling is made on this. If you notice, we have 2 straps here. One is slightly longer than the other. Okay, that's equivalent to what Invacare did, where they gave us one long strap with several different places we could hook this in. These don't both have to be hooked in. It's one or the other depending on how large the resident is and how close you can get to them. The other difference you're going to notice with this is we have a metal loop and we have another set of straps here. Okay, this set of straps is actually going to crisscross in front of the patient, and this also is going to be strapped into the lift. Well, let me show you how this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to bring these in front of her, one through each one of these side loops. Okay, now we're ready to bring the lift in front. Into place, I'm going to ask her to put her feet up on the platform. This one does have a calf strap, which is going to keep her feet from sliding backwards off there. This is a safety strap, and it should be used at all times. Okay. I'm going to take the 2 of these loops that I put through my metal loops. I want to get them on the same slot. So it looks like about number 4 on each side is right. Now here are my safety straps I was telling you about. They don't both have to be on there. In this case, they'll actually both fit on there, so I'm just going to lay them over. Okay? I've got my controller. I'm going to hit the up button on my controller. I'm going to ask her to hold here and here, and I want you to stand. Pull yourself up into standing. This again is a lift that needs to be used with someone who can bear weight, somebody who's able to stand. This is the kind of resident that may occasionally their legs may want to buckle on you, their balance may not be so good, but this is somebody who can stand that you would use this lift with. Once we have her up into position, we're going to move the lift from these handles only. No pushing with your feet down here, no pushing or pulling from up here. Okay, out, and we can now move her in position or wherever we would like to.